The 4th of July fireworks have come early to us here on 3+You this morning because the pep is in his step. Mark Warren is here from Warren and Griffin with
Ahoy, Julie!
boater's hat
Ain't it good to
on.
be alive and be in Tennessee and on a lake this weekend? Ahoy!
You've got quite the conglomeration going on. You got your boater's cap,
Yes.
and your red, white, and blue.
And my bow tie, the hard part was trying to catch the bird to make the bow tie, but once I caught the bird, it was easy to make the bow tie.
Okay, let's talk about this weekend because we're hearing a lot about the weather this weekend being exceptionally hot.
Hot!
It's a concern, and yet nobody wants to sit inside when you have a boat calling.
Yeah, do you own a boat?
No, do you own a boat?
My kids say I own a boat. I've owned a boat for 3 years. I've been on it, one time, just one time only because of the diesel and the waves and getting kind of nauseous.
You like to watch from the shore?
I do. Now the boat's called, it's orange and white. I've got a cute name for it.
What is it?
Maybe you get it. It's called the Tennessee Alma Water. Alma Water.
No.
Yes. Instead of alma mater, it's Alma Water. Nobody gets it.
What do you mean nobody gets it? They
I
get
don't,
it.
Well, my family does not get it. My family doesn't get it,
So you named it.
Yeah, of course it's orange. Yeah, the Tennessee Alma Water. I've been on it one time.
Water.
I drove from our Wolf Teever Fishing Club to Amigos. I was nauseous, and that was about it. I think I took an Uber back, matter of fact. So, my kids love the boat. They say it's great. It's one of those fancy boats that makes waves, behind it. You can surf with your dog for a good picture for Instagram. Yeah, that's my boat, all right?
Okay.
They say I own a boat.
So let me take a time out, okay, for just a second. Just one
We're not
second.
talking about
you
my
mentioned,
boat?
no, we'll talk
Okay.
about your boat. You mentioned Amigos. So anybody who has a boat knows
Yes.
that along the river there are plenty of places you can
Absolutely,
go
right,
and stop
right.
and enjoy. So let's say that you've gone to have lunch there at Amigos.
I love the segue here.
and you
are
have a margarita,
Yeah.
and you get back on the boat.
Oh, well, let me say, this weekend is Operation Dry Water. Operation Dry Water. So they're going to be out in force looking for BUIs, okay? Boating under the influence, BUIs. Now, come July the 1st, is this a coincidence? Because come tomorrow, DUI laws that you can get hit with on the road are going to be the same penalties as you can get on the water. So if you blow a .8 on the water, and that's how they test you for BUI is a breathalyzer. They don't make you, on land, they make you walk a straight line. On the lake, they don't make you swim a straight line.
Well,
to
sure,
the
you're
boom.
guaranteed to fail.
Yeah, yes, right.
I mean, that's unfair.
But if you blow a .8 on the lake, that's a BUI, and you're going to go to jail for 48 hours. Pretty stiff penalty.
So,
But back to you and the margarita at Amigos, okay?
not saying that I would have.
Bear in mind that on the lake has a certain effect upon the alcohol affecting your body. First
Especially
off,
the sun.
That's it, because the sun, the heat, you might be dehydrated, so you might be drinking more and drinking it faster, and so you'll get intoxicated quicker. Also, on the lake, because of the vibration, the sun, the motion of the ocean, alcohol affects you sooner, okay? Alcohol affects you sooner, okay? So if you have 3 margaritas at Amigas on land, it just takes 2 margaritas on the boat to affect you in the same way, as far as your lack of coordination, your awareness, your slurred speech. So bear in mind, alcohol affects you differently on the lake than it does on land.
Okay, so also often on the boat, it's not just you and your family, but you bring friends.
Right.
You're doing the skiing with the dog behind you, the whole thing.
So you're distracted anyway with all this going around. That's another reason I don't like boats, because there's everything going around. Papers are flying, towels are wet, dogs are falling down, in the boat. So, you are distracted on the boat. Beware of that, and if you're not standing behind the wheel of your boat, the TWRA can cite you for recklessness.
Yeah, be behind it,
Yes.
Don't be next to it. Okay.
Don't be next to it.
If you, though, are captaining a boat,
Right.
and you yourself are not drinking, but everybody else is,
Right.
Are there liability concerns that way,
Well,
too?
and this is the difference there's a couple differences between driving a car and driving a boat. First off, driving a car, you cannot be, sucking down a beer driving a car. You can be driving a boat and holding a beer. That's okay, Driving a car, if you show up in your apartment complex after a party night and you pass out in your car, you can still be cited for DUI even though you're not driving. At a boat, you know, if your boat is anchored down, you know, you can drink as long as you want to, as long as you're under the legal limit.
That was an Everybody Loves Raymond episode once.
Really?
Yes,
what was
that she got drunk at a party and she got in her car and realized that she should not drive home, so she slept.
Sometimes I see articles in the paper where they arrest someone in a Walmart parking lot for sleeping it off, you know, where officer, I did not feel like I should be driving home because I had too much to drink, and so they park in a parking lot to kind of sober up, and they can get arrested for that. Still DUI, right?
I don't understand that.
Me either.
Okay.
You know.
First of all, I'm sorry I was giggling with you, but you've got so many like alliterations and things going on today.
Really? Alliterations?
Yeah. Margaritas at Amiga,
Yeah,
something
that's
you
good.
said,
You
and
know,
then motion on the ocean.
Yeah, that kind of affects your equilibrium.
Point
when you're
8 on the lake.
Point 8, that's a good one too.
That's a good
Point
one
8
too.
on the lake.
That's how you can remember it.
That's it, you know.
So is it higher or slower?
Let me just tell you
on
about that. But before I forget, Chickamauga Lake is the most dangerous lake in Tennessee. Chickamauga Lake is the most dangerous lake in Tennessee. And this is not funny. I mean,
I know it's not funny.
we had 22 deaths last year in 2022. How about that for alliteration?
Wait, why?
22 deaths in 2022 on Chickamauga Lake. We led the state in deaths.
Why is it so dangerous?
Well, because people are drinking on the lake. That's the whole topic I'm doing right now, okay? Do not drink on the lake, you know? So that's really the leading cause of deaths on the lake is someone having too much to drink. And we lead the state in deaths on the lake, 2022.
So my question was going to be, you mentioned the 0.8 on the lake, and that effective tomorrow, July 1.
Right.
It's the same for a DUI as a BUI.
Yeah.
So which is typically the lower threshold of alcohol, a DUI or a BUI?
Same thing.
Always?
If you blow a .08 on the lake, you're going to be as you would blowing a .08 on the side of the road.
Do you, because if you get pulled over as a DUI, am I right in this that you can say I don't want to do a breathalyzer? You can deny it?
Great point, because a boating license is like a driver's license. There is an implied consent that, you know, because you're driving, because you're boating, you have given your consent to a breathalyzer. If you refuse the breathalyzer, you have refused the implied consent, and they can arrest you right there.
Really?
Yes.
But if you are driving and you get pulled over, can you do the walk the straight line instead of the breathalyzer?
That's up to the officer. You know, usually you walk the straight line, you know, and see whether or not there's any indication of intoxication. There's another one, any indication of intoxication.
Yeah, once you're on it, you're on it.
I'm on it, you know, and so then they can do a 08. Same thing with the boat, you know, they have to have a reason to board your boat. They just can't pick, that's an orange and white boat, the Tennessee Alma Water, I'm going to board that boat. You have to be acting recklessly. And in my opinion, on the lake, everybody's acting recklessly. Boats are going here and there.
It's a scary place.
Pulling things behind them, you know, surfing with their dogs. I mean, it's just it's mayhem on the lake.
And okay, does the same thing apply for jet skis?
Jet skis, yes. Jet skis is a registered boating apparatus, you know, so it does not apply to canoes or kayaks. So you're out there kayaking, you know, does not apply to you.
Yeah, well, if you're out there kayaking, you're catching the wake off of one of those boats going by.
Yes, you're right about that. That's
okay, so be careful. Please be careful.
Boat safely.
Maybe you too can have a feathered
Anchors down. Go big
red,
orange.
white, and blue tie, and maybe you'll see the Alma Water.
Yes, look for the Alma Water out there.
It just won't be Mark, it'll be his kids.
It will not be me, not me. My kids will be enjoying my boat.
You can always find him at Warren and Griffin right there at the beautiful Dome building, warrenandgriffin.com, 265-HURT. Just don't get hurt this weekend.
Exactly, go Vols.